Hey guys, today's video I wanted to talk about Vo2Max training. I know I've made a few videos already on this, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth in regards to what you need to be doing in terms of improving your body's ability to clear lactic acid. And that is the main objective when it comes to racing fast over specific distances. It's very, very important to improve your body's lactate tolerance. The problem with Vo2Max training is the fact that we can only do so much, we can only do so many of these types of workouts. Your Vo2Max is approximately around 95 to 100% of your maximum heart rate. So you can't really spend that long training at this type of intensity. I did spend a lot of time myself training at Vo2Max and trying to improve my body's lactate tolerance. Training for the marathon and the 5K, 10K, and half marathon distances. And I can tell you from my own background that the only reason why I was able to run under 2 hours and 20 minutes for the marathon and 107 for the half was continual focus on training at the anaerobic threshold and at Vo2Max. And Vo2Max workouts, examples of the types of workouts that I was doing in terms of Vo2Max training is I was doing 6 times 1 mile on the track at altitude when I was training in Colorado Springs. And I started off doing 6 times 1 mile on the track at 5:05 per rep with a 3-minute rest. And then as I was going into the 2007 Cal International Marathon, I was able to hold 6 by 1 mile reps at 4:46 to 4:47 per rep with a 2-minute rest. So any type of workout where it's between like 2 minutes and 6 minutes is a Vo2Max workout. And again, Vo2Max you want to preferably do about 1 workout per week in regards to doing if you're focusing on improving your Vo2Max. Like I said, you cannot train for very long periods of time at this type of intensity. Other examples of Vo2Max workouts that I did are like 16 times 400 meters on the track, anywhere from 67 seconds to 72 seconds per rep with a 60-second rest. And again, what I want to also make sure is I didn't just like early on in my training phase run these types of times. There was a lot of trial and error in regards to getting to a point where I was able to run the types of paces that I was able to hold. So I want you to also keep in mind in your own training just to be very, very, very patient with yourself and know that your body will definitely adapt to the training that you're doing. But again, Vo2Max training comes down to the athlete being extremely patient because the physiological adaptations that we're working so hard for take weeks, months, not weeks, it takes more months and years to get to a point where you can run extremely fast over long periods of time. It all depends on the athlete, your talent level, what your goals are. For me personally, I was trying to break 2 hours and 22 minutes. That was kind of like my end goal. That was my pie in the sky goal. And I knew as a 2:40, my personal best at the time was 2 hours and 43 minutes. I knew to go from 2:43 to sub 2:22 was going to take, more than likely going to take at least a year or a few years in order to achieve. And it did. It ended up taking me 5 years to run that time. So a couple points I want you to keep in mind when you're training, you're trying to improve, your body's ability to clear lactic acid and Vo2Max training in general. There are ways to improve your Vo2Max. So the workouts that I've mentioned before, doing really hard track intervals, anywhere from 2 minutes to 6 minutes in length. Improving your anaerobic threshold by training at anywhere from 164 to 174 beats a minute. And the longer you can sustain that pace and the time spent at that heart rate zone, the better. But anaerobic threshold and Vo2Max are totally different. Anaerobic threshold is you can definitely sustain that pace for a longer period of time, but a Vo2Max workout is a matter of minutes. So again, you want to do Vo2Max training workouts about once per week. I would recommend doing one tempo run per week and extend the amount of distance that you're covering. Again, early on in our training phase, you don't want to do tempo runs. None of us can do a tempo run at like 10 to 14 miles in length, not right off the bat. So I want you to continue to focus on periodization. So you want to focus on progression and allowing your body time to adapt to the stresses that you're throwing at it. It takes, like I said, it takes about 21 days or 3 weeks to adapt to any type of stress that your body is being subjected to. When I was at Malone University under Jack Hazen, one of the world's top distance running coaches, he would have us, all of our training was built around heart rate monitor training. And we did a lot of Vo2Max training as well. Really hard track sessions. Another favorite workout that I did leading into my marathons was doing like 10 times 800 meters in 2 minutes and 15 seconds to 2 minutes and 20 seconds per rep, with a 90-second rest in between each rep. And when I was very, very fit and tapered and starting to taper down, starting to drop down my training, I was able to do about 10 of those in around 215 to 218 range. And I knew when I was able to do that, I was ready to go. But those types of workouts where you're training anywhere from like 95 to 100% of your maximum heart rate, again, recovery is absolutely critical. So really I want you to pay attention to when you're prepping for your upcoming 5K or marathon distance, 10K, half marathon, marathon distance. I want you to definitely keep in mind your recovery, because again, the body can only be subjected to that type of intensity so many times. So another thing, what Vo2Max training does is it teaches the body to recruit more fast twitch muscle fibers. And we as distance runners, we're really, our physiological makeup is we have probably around 95 to, between 90 and 95% fast twitch muscle fiber and between 5 and 10% slow twitch muscle fiber. We're just built for, long distance running. And some of you may be really focused on, you may be a middle distance runner and your specialty is more like, between 400 meters and 10K. So you may have more fast twitch muscle fibers than a marathoner or a half marathoner. So again, Vo2Max training, again, the fact that you can only spend so much time training at that level, it's really, you want to focus about doing one workout per week. And you want to also keep in mind adaptation. So it does take, like for example, how we trained at Malone University under Jack, we would start off our training doing mile repeats at 85% maximum mile time. So for me at that time, my mile time still to this day is 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So I was just basing it off of a 420. 85% at that time was 505 per rep. So we would go from 85% then to 88% 3 weeks later, and then spend 3 weeks at 88%, and then we'd go to 91%, spend 3 weeks there, and then we'd go to 94%, and then we started to taper down our training. So we were really big at Malone University with Vo2Max training, and that was a big, significant reason why I was able to improve in college as well. But I really when I transitioned from college and started focusing on road racing and running professionally, Vo2Max training really played a huge part, because again, you want to make race pace to feel as easy as possible, as manageable as possible. And doing track workouts where you're training more at your 3K to 5K race pace, that's more or less right around Vo2Max training type efforts. So you're not going to spend much time spent at that type of intensity. But I do want to just reiterate that you want to minimize the amount of workouts you're doing at Vo2Max, but you also want to know that these types of workouts will help your body to clear lactic acid at race pace. Again, these types of workouts always, over time, will definitely teach your body to burn fat at race pace, and to also teach it to conserve carbs and glycogen for the latter stages of the race, where you're really going to need it the most. Everybody's got a story. It doesn't matter if you're a total beginner in the sport. Your voice and your opinion and your background and expertise is just as worthy, is just as important as mine. And I have, with me having 28 years of experience as a distance runner, having run 219 for the marathon, and trained all over the world, my viewpoint here in these videos is just to share with you some tips and strategies, some ideas of what types of workouts do athletes, at least at my caliber, do. And you have a story as well. So regardless what level you're currently at, whether you're a total beginner or you're a 210 marathoner or a 1340 5K athlete, we all have a story to tell. But Vo2Max training is definitely very, very important when it comes to being able to teach your body, again, to handle lactic acid at race efforts. Your body's ability to clear lactic acid is really is critical for your overall success as a distance runner or middle distance runner. So if you're brand new to the channel, my name is Nate Pennington. I'm the founder of RunDreamAchieve.com, 219 marathoner, former member of the Army World Class Athlete Program. Definitely, if you have a specific question or something I haven't covered in this video regarding Vo2Max, leave me a comment below and give me a thumbs up on this video and let me know what your thoughts are on Vo2Max, and if there's something I didn't cover as in depth as you'd like in regards to this particular video, let me know. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. I appreciate you guys, and wherever you are in the world, I wish you the very best with your training. Vo2Max, like I said, is very, very critical for your overall success. So just allow yourself time to adapt to these types of workouts. Examples, like I said, 6x1 mile at around 3K to 5K race pace, doing 3 to 4 2-mile repetitions on the track at your 10K race pace, doing those really hard repeat 200s, like 12 to 14 times 200 meters on the track at your 3K race pace. Man, I'm telling you, that is gonna really improve your body's ability to handle lactic acid at race pace over long periods of time, and to a point where race pace itself is it feels more in control and not so taxing. So hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Again, if you're brand new to the channel, click subscribe and the bell icon. That way anytime I make a new video, you'll be notified. And I wish you guys the very best, and visit RunDreamAchieve.com. Look forward to talking to you guys in the next video.